what they can do to save money as the cost of living crisis hits them hard.
Now, the government's Help to Heat scheme encourages people to make eco-friendly home improvements to cut carbon emissions and save energy.
Well, the boiler upgrade scheme is part of the new package, and here to tell us more is the CEO of Energy and Utilities Alliance, Mike Foster. Good morning to you, Mike, and thank you so much for joining us this morning. So, Mike, can you explain the boiler upgrade scheme and how it works?
Yeah, good morning to you both. The scheme is really a boiler replacement scheme in that you can apply to get a government grant for £5,000 to take your boiler out and replace it with a heat pump. And the scheme is worth £150 million a year, and it's limited to fundamentally 30,000 replacements each year. And those replacements are needed purely because the cost of a heat pump is so high compared to a gas boiler. We're talking about, on average, according to the government's figures, about £13,000 for a heat pump. For a gas boiler, it's somewhere between £1,500 and £2,000. So there's a huge difference in the cost, which is why the government are paying out a subsidy. But of course, people quite rightly ask, should that subsidy be paid to people who, by definition, can afford to pay the extra £8,000 themselves? When times are tight and millions are struggling with their bills, should this subsidy be the best way of using taxpayers' money?
These heat pumps, we've just been looking at some, they basically look like air conditioning units.
Fundamentally, that's what they are, Stephen, yes. They suck air from the outside and warm it up and pump it inside to heat hot water for a central heating system. Whereas an air conditioning unit sucks the warm air from inside and takes it out. So it works in reverse to an air conditioning unit. So they're big pieces of kit that go on the outside of your home, and not every home can actually fit these and have the space to put these in their back gardens, and that's why they're not the solution to everybody's home. They're a good bit of technology for the right property, but not every home is suitable for a heat pump.
I'm just looking at Octopus Energy here, because obviously they're sort of offering these to their customers if it's relevant, and they're saying it can reduce your electricity bill by 4 times. So you pay a quarter of the electricity bill for the same level of heating and hot water, which all sounds very good. But as you say, you've got to have the cash to fork out for it in the first place.
Yeah, the claim that's made is that a heat pump is 4 times more efficient in delivering heat compared to a gas boiler. And technically that's about right if it's properly fitted and well run, and not all of them are, but if it is, then those numbers are about right. But of course, the cost of electricity that you and I pay in our bills is 4 times more than gas. So in terms of the saving to the consumer, there's not a great deal of saving when you replace a gas boiler for a heat pump. People put a heat pump in not to save money but because they want to go greener, and that's fine, that's commendable. But at a time when literally millions of people are struggling to pay their bills, there is a really strong argument that says actually that money, that £150 million a year, could provide loft insulation for over 300,000 homes rather than 30,000 people getting a £5,000 grant. And that insulation in 300,000 homes will save people money. The Energy Savings Trust claim that's about £355 per year every year. So there's a huge saving from, instead of the money being used to replace boilers, being used to put in insulation. And you save carbon too. So it ticks all the right boxes. And my argument is actually that's probably a better use of money, of taxpayers' money, in these times when the new Chancellor is looking to make savings and much more effective way of using what little cash there is around.